Hello everyone, my name is Olivia Wolf and I'm the Program Director at the Findlay YMCA. Today for our activity we are going to be reading a book called Dinosaur. After we finish reading the book, I am going to show you an activity that you can do at home where you make your very own dinosaur fossils. But first we are going to read the book with our dinosaur friends who are here. This book is called The Dinosaur. One morning, before Mrs. Raptor rang the bell, the dinosaurs were playing in the schoolyard. All of a sudden, they heard a roar. Mine! 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 Oh no, muttered Stegosaurus. Here comes the Minosaur. He snatched the jump rope and the ball. He threw the cars against the wall. And then he roared to one and all, Mine! 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 Iguanodon said, That's not fair. Triceratops said, You should share. But the Minosaur yelled, I don't care. They're mine! 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 Right then the bell rang. The Minosaur hugged the toys and sighed, All mine. You're late, Mrs. Raptor said when the Minosaur finally came to class. Now you'll have to paint your project during snack time. By the time the Minosaur finished, snack time was in full swing. The Minosaur rushed on ahead. He snatched the scones and strudel bread. He bit the butter tarts and said, They're mine, mine, mine. That's our food, yelled Apatosaur. No, it's not, cried Minosaur. As soon as there was a tug-of-war, he wailed, Mine! The rest of the class can go out for recess, Mrs. Raptor said. You will stay in here until you clean up this mess. The Minosaur scowled and bit into a scone. At least the food's all mine, he grumbled. But the feast wasn't as much fun when it was made just for one. At recess, the Minosaur saw the other dinos having fun building a tower. His arms were flailing all around. The tower tumbled to the ground. He grabbed a bunch of blocks and frowned. They're mine! 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 How could you? Yelled Iguanodon. It's wrecked now, said Pteranodon. The Minosaur said, Oh, come on! These blocks are mine! The dinos rolled their eyes. Finally, Triceratops said, Let's go, guys. I don't need them anyway, said Minosaur. I'll build a better tower by myself. Look at this, he shouted, the biggest tower ever. But there was no dino around to hear. At the other end of the yard, the rest of the dinos were laughing and playing. They didn't seem to miss the Minosaur at all. The Minosaur began to shake. There's nothing left for me to take. No toys at all, for goodness sakes. And they don't care. The Minosaur wanted to laugh and play too. So he gathered up all the stuff that was his and headed toward the dinos. The Minosaur asked, Want some snacks? The other dinos turned their backs. I've bought the blocks for us to stack. Come on, let's share. The Minosaur tried saying, Please, I've brought some toys. I'll give you these. The dinos stared down at their knees. They just didn't care. Okay then, said the Minosaur. He put all of the stuff down. You guys should play. The dinos looked at each other. Isn't this your stuff? Asked Stegosaurus. The Minosaur shook his head. I shouldn't have taken it. The Minosaur was still walking when he heard the dinos shout, "Wait!" They said, "We want to play with you." Said Minosaur, "You really do?" The dinos nodded. "Yes, it's true. If you'll share, it's fine." The Minosaur yelled, "It's a deal. I have the thing I want," he squealed. "You don't know how this makes me feel. My friends, you're mine. Mine, mine, mine." And that is the end of our book. Now that we have finished reading our book, I am going to show you an activity that you can do at home, your very own dinosaur fossils. This is an example of what my dinosaur fossil looks like. Before we begin making any fossils, I am going to show you everything that you will need in order to make your fossils. To make the fossils, you will need to make salt dough. The ingredients for salt dough are flour, salt, water, dinosaurs, and baking soda. I have a recipe written out for making the salt dough, and that recipe will also be in the description of this video. What you will do first is you're going to combine all of the dry ingredients. So you'll combine the baking soda, the flour, and the salt. You will need 1 cup of flour, so we'll do that first. After you've added your flour, then you will need a 1/2 cup of salt, and then you will just need a couple pinches of baking soda. Once you have all of these ingredients inside your bowl, then you will be adding your water a little bit at a time. In total, you'll add 1 cup of warm water. Once you have all of your ingredients added to your bowl, then the next thing you will do is you will begin stirring all of it together until it starts to form a dough ball. After stirring and mixing your dough together and forming a dough ball, your dough ball should look something like this. For the next step of making our fossil, you're going to take a little bit of your dough ball and you want to roll out that piece of your dough ball until you have a flat piece like this. You don't want your dough piece to be too thin because when you take one of your dinosaurs and you push it into the dough piece, you don't want it to be too thin that it causes a hole to break into the dough. So you want to keep your dough flat like this, but you also want to make sure it's got some thickness to it. After you have your piece of dough all rolled out, the next thing you will do is take a dinosaur of your choosing and you are going to push it down into the dough to create the fossil. I am going to do that with this little dinosaur now. As you can see here on my dough piece, I've created an indent on the dough and it looks like there is a dinosaur fossil on my piece of dough. Now I'm going to create more fossils with the rest of my dough. Once you have all of your fossil indents made with your dinosaurs, the next thing we are going to do is we need to have them turn into fossils and have the dough harden. The fast way to have your fossils be formed is to put these in the oven on a baking sheet at 250 degrees for about 2 hours. However, if you wanted this project to extend a little bit longer than that, what you can do is you can put them on a piece of paper or on a piece of plastic wrap, and you can set them outside to dry in the sun. That'll take about 24 hours. You would need to flip your pieces of dough over a couple of times every maybe 3 or 4 hours so that it can dry on both sides. I am going to do that now with my fossil pieces. After letting my dough go into the oven for 2 hours at 250 degrees, this is what my one fossil looks like. Now, this last part of making the fossils is optional. What I did for this so that you could see the outline of the dinosaur fossil more was I took some paint and a paintbrush and simply just painted the indent on our fossil. I am going to do that same thing now with this fossil. After painting in the fossil, this is what my fossil looks like. Thank you so much for watching and stay tuned to our Facebook page for more videos.